25 years is a pretty long journey in this field. Could you take me back to the beginning? Like, how did you find your way into data science and analytics? Like, what was it about this work that captured your interest so early on?
Yeah, I mean, 25 years, how to make me feel old. I'm definitely one of those people who fell into data. As originally, I actually wanted to be a doctor, but after not getting the right grades in my A levels, that was twice as I resat them to try again, I decided to study maths at university as that was the subject I'd enjoyed the most. Then after that, I genuinely had no idea what to do. And then it's quite an interesting story. So my mum, who worked in the call centre of a home shopping company, she saw a job advert on the notice board, like a printed advert, for an operational research analyst, which said you needed a maths degree or similar. So she brought it home that day, and that was actually the closing date. So I rang up and asked if I could pop my application through the door over the weekend, as this was a Friday, and they said, yes, you can. So
That's cutting it close. So your mom literally brought you the job that started your career.
I know, yeah, I must remind her of that actually. Yeah, so over that weekend, I did a CV, and again, show my age a bit. This was actually on an electronic typewriter I borrowed from a friend of mine, as we didn't have a computer at home. And then I posted it through the door of the head office on the Sunday. And the hiring manager, who's actually still a friend of mine, he told me this format actually made it stand out a bit, which again is, quite funny. And then when I went for the interview, honestly, I still didn't really know what operational research was. But luckily, they had a test, and I did that first. And that test was all about using data to solve a real business challenge. And that challenge was about reducing fraud. So essentially, where customers were saying their goods hadn't been delivered, you have to remember this was the year 2000, before every single parcel was tracked digitally. And I also understood the issue, as I also had a weekend job for this company in the same call centre where my mum worked back when I was in the sixth form.
So that's very interesting. And uh, so you could speak to the problem from your actual experience in that case, right?
Exactly, yeah. And this test really captured my interest. That idea of using maths to solve real problems. So then when it came to the interview itself and they asked me a question, what does operational research mean to you? I was then able to give a decent answer, essentially because of this test they'd set. And then I got the job, and the rest is history. So a very serendipitous start, really. It was obviously meant to be.
Absolutely. Just a follow-up, Lindsay, that you mentioned you wanted to be a doctor originally, right? So, do you see any connection between that aspiration and what you eventually ended up doing in data? Maybe both are about solving problems and helping people in some way?
Yeah, I've thought about this quite a lot over the years, and I think you're right. There are definitely parallels. Both use data to solve problems, and both require people skills. And I think it's really interesting to see now how data is used in healthcare, from say the use, or some would say misuse, of data through the pandemic recently, to the adoption of AI more recently to improve diagnostics.
No, no, completely agree. Completely agree.